Hi, so I thought it would be fun to do a series reading vlog this fall. So that's what we're doing. It's also the first time ever I will be doing a series reading vlog. So hopefully this will be successful. But I thought it would be fun to read the Raven Boy series. Which is together the Raven Cycle, that's what it's called, not the Raven Boy series. I originally read the first two books in the series ages and ages ago. Like generally, I don't think the series was even finished when I read the first two books because that's just what was out in my library back then, and I never got around to actually completing the series despite I remember giving both of these first two books 5 stars back in the day. So it's not like I disliked the books. I never continued. It's a very bad habit I still have, but I have gotten better at. But yeah, I also have over the past couple of years been collecting these books. I have not gotten the final book in the series, sadly enough, but I know my library has it on like ebook, so I probably should be able to lend it out that way. But yeah, I thought it'd be finally be time to get through the series. And also, you're seeing this in like October, but I'm in the middle of September right now, and I thought this would be the perfect series to get into the fall mood as well. So let's just do that. I am very excited to delve back into these books and share my thoughts with you, as I generally don't remember a whole lot from these first two books, so it's basically gonna be like a first time experience, and hopefully that will be fun, especially because it's like a very nostalgic series for a lot of people. So I think, I don't know, this might be a fun time. I don't know, we'll see. But I'll be reading these 4 books. I will try to keep this vlog spoiler free. We'll see how things go. And yeah, let's just begin with the one that started it all, the Raven Boys. Hi, how are we feeling? I have officially got started on the Raven Boys. I'm a quarter of the way through, which is 92 pages. Chapter 10 is about to start, and honestly, I debated on doing this update right now because I feel like not a whole lot has happened yet of worth. Like, we have been introduced to characters, but they haven't been introduced to each other yet properly. So basically, let me give you better of a synopsis for this book. So in this book, we follow Blue, who comes from a family of psychics, but she can't see the future. The only thing that she is that she kind of magnifies the powers of other people, basically. She has always known that one day she's gonna kill her true love. Like, if they kiss, she ever kisses her true love, like, that will be the end of them. And at the very start of this book, like, I mean, like, literally the prologue, one of Blue's aunts comes to stay with them, and she's immediately like, oh, you're gonna meet your true love this year. So, there's a bit of a panic because Blue was like, I can avoid killing someone as long as I don't fall in love with someone. And then you flash forward a little bit, and Blue is with her aunt at the cemetery to kind of like see the souls of the people who are gonna die in the next year. And Blue typically can't see the ghosts, the souls basically, but she's there to kind of like amplify her aunt's power so that she's more able to communicate with the spirits, until Blue actually sees one of them, and his name is Gansey. And then when she asks her aunt, like, how come I can see him, her aunt is like, oh, that's either your true love or like someone you'll kill. So, the same thing when it comes to Blue, basically. And then we switch perspectives to Genzi, who is absolutely obsessed with ley lines and trying to find his dead Welsh king. And he and his friends Adam, Noah, and Ronan are basically like this group of boys going to like this elite boarding school, and like the people from the school have the nickname the Raven Boys because it's like an all boys school. But they are like a little group of friends at the school who continuously like trying to find this dead Welsh king, and obviously they need ley lines for that. And we have one scene in this book where they go to like the restaurant that Blue works at, so they have like a small interaction, but like not really so far. So I am very excited to see this continue to move, because honestly I thought I remembered nothing from the series, but as just reading like this very small chunk of this book so far, like things are coming back to me, and especially when it comes to things that I thought Like, I remember being big reveals in this book. I can see like the little hints towards it, and I'm like, oh my god, was I really that stupid? Or is it just something you're not picking up on unless you know? And just like things are starting to come back, and I don't know, I am really loving this book so far. I just think it is so atmospheric, and I'm having so much fun reading it, and I'm very glad I decided to delve back into this series right now. Hi, so I'm halfway through The Raven Boys. How are you doing? Page 182, and Blue has just joined a Raven Boys, like not officially yet, but like they are on their first outing together. And I don't know, I'm still loving this. It is a bit more slow moving than from what I remember from the first time around. I feel like I don't remember like this taking so long, but just the vibes are immaculate. Like already I'm in love with these characters already. Like the characters are just so strong, and like their friendships and everything is just so cool. And I don't know, the magic in this just feels kind of whimsical in a way that I just really like. And like I said, vibes immaculate. And yeah, I'm having such a good time with this so far. Hi, I am feeling like shit, so excuse me just like laying down right now. I've been like kind of getting the feeling that I'm getting sick for a couple of days now. Mayhaps today it's kicking in. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see tomorrow. But I do feel pretty shit right now. But I did manage to finish The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. Obviously, that's what we're talking about over here. And I didn't do an update at 3/4 because I just kind of felt like I had like nothing more to say. And I'm glad I didn't do that because that's exactly what happened. I didn't really have that much more to say. And I just feel now at ending it, I feel like I have more of concrete thoughts, if that makes sense. Basically, I already told you this was a reread. Upon first read, I gave this 5 stars originally, and even though I totally understand why I did that back then, I am moving it down 1 star, so it's a 4 star for me upon this read, just for the simple fact that I feel like not a whole lot happens in this book, which is obvious from like my updates. I think that I did not really have a lot to say, but I feel like we just do a whole lot of setting up in this book, kind of establishing all of these different characters, establishing the dynamics between the different Raven boys, getting Blue introduced into that group, also exploring like Blue's family, like all of the women she lives with, and like all of how that like the psychic stuff works, and then explaining of the ley lines, the like history between Ganzi and like this Welsh king he's looking for, and like why he's doing that. Like there's so much that just needs to be introduced into this book that it makes sense that until the very end not a whole lot happens in this. So therefore for me it's Dr. Star, because I just feel like, you know, I was constantly waiting for things to happen and it just didn't really. But overall, I generally still really enjoyed this. I love our cast of characters. I love the Raven Boys. I love the different friendship dynamics and the fun family dynamic between them. And then I also love Blue's like actual family. I think that's so interesting. The magic in this world is so interesting. And it just, this whole book just has this great atmosphere to it, like this great tone to it that just completely sucks you in. I read this in one sitting, and if I logged correctly on Goodreads back in 2016, I also did the first time I read this, I like reading it in one day, because I don't want to put this book down. I want to keep reading. You're just so like sucked into it all, and like I could feel myself present in like these scenes and everything, because it really is just that top notch on atmosphere. And I don't know, I still really like it, and it still has a special place in my heart, but it's just not a 5 star anymore, if that makes sense. Knowing that I can read a book in one day, my goal for tomorrow is to read the Dream Thieves. This one is a bit longer, so I don't know if that will work, but this is another reread. I know this one focuses mostly on Ronan and his deal, and we got like little glimpses of that in this book, and like knowing what that's gonna be, just like vaguely from what I remember. I am very excited to be delving into this book. Hi, how we feeling? It's the next day, it's the evening, and just everything now because I'm just a quarter of the way through the Dream Thieves. I don't know what happened. Today just passed me by, and I did not manage to read a thing until now. But I am hunkering down, trying to read as much of this book as I can today, just to make my life easier. But I thought I'd give you an update considering I'm a quarter of the way through. And I honestly am really liking this so far. It definitely I mean, I get why this is called the Ronin book, definitely. I feel like a lot of like the more major plot points are focused on him, but I feel like for the rest, it is more spread out amongst the other characters than I personally remember. Also, something that I forgot about this series is just how funny it is. Like honestly, most of the time this is like pretty serious, not like sad serious, but you know, they're trying to get on with that shit. But every so often, it just makes me laugh so hard because something like a joke just comes out of left field, and I'm like, this shit is really funny. And I thought I'd also mention that. Also, something I didn't talk about after my first review of the first book is that I remember hating Adam. I finished the first book and I was like, okay, yeah, he did. He said some things that I don't fully agree with, but I completely understand where he was coming from. Like, I feel like his motivations and stuff are like very clearly explained throughout like the entire book. So I don't know why I used to hate him. I get it. It's not even that bad so far in this book, but he's getting on my nerves so badly. And I know Adam's character arc is like a very widely discussed thing among the fandom, so I know it's not like a entire series thing, but he's getting on my nerves so badly. So it is pretty late. I'm exhausted, but I thought I'd give you an update before going to sleep because I did make it 3/4 of the way through the Dream Thieves, only have the last bit to go. And it's taken me quite a long time to read this middle section because it's been boring. It's been so boring. I didn't do an update halfway through because I felt like I had nothing to say, and now I feel like things are starting to kick up a little. So I am excited to read this last little chunk, but like the middle, such a bore. And the characters also like split up for such a large chunk of it, which made it way less interesting because I feel like this book shines like its character dynamics and everything. But almost nothing happened in this middle bit, and I was so bored. I did it. I finished the Dream Thieves. I'm giving it a 3 star, which feels painful because originally when I read this it was a 5, so to sink it down that much just hurts. But like I said, that middle section is just such a bore, which also means because like nothing happens in that. I feel like everything happens in like the last little bit, and a lot of like reveals and like shit just happens in this last bit, which makes it that they don't have enough time to like breathe and to sit or be explained properly, and it just feels a tad bit rushed. And I feel like there's two major things that happen towards the backstretch of this, and I feel like one could have happened about like halfway through, and it would have given us more time to sit with that, to understand it. So then when the other thing happens, it just flows more naturally. Now it just kind of felt like I don't really understand what's going on and it's all moving so quickly. So that just was a bit of a disappointment. But I did still quite enjoy this. Like the first and last bit I did think were pretty decent. I really like these characters, and like I said, this book went downhill for me once they split up, and getting to see them together again, and like the group vibes are still immaculate. And then we also get more glimpses of Blue and Gansey in this book, which they're adorable. I do definitely hate Adam, and I don't know how he's gonna rectify himself, because I know from other people's reviews and talks about the series that Adam is a character that has a redemption arc, but I currently don't see how that will happen because he's just kind of a piece of shit in his book. But you know, I keep an open mind. I am still very excited to continue on with Blue Lily Lily Blue. I feel like this is most people's favorite in the series, so I am excited to give it a read. This is also the first one I haven't read yet, so it's gonna be like a completely new experience to me, and I am just really excited to delve into this. Okay, so it's gonna be a short update because I can't say anything without spoiling you, but I'm a quarter of the way through Blue Lily Lily Blue. Here's the proof. And I'm loving this so much. Like, I already get why this is so many people's favorites. Like, atmosphere on another level. Even though like it already has been on another level this entire series. It's even on another level now. It's just, I don't know, I feel like it's a bit more dark, a bit more spooky. I feel like the stakes are definitely being upped, and like, I don't know, it's not like a lot has happened, but I feel like a lot has happened, if that makes sense. There's just been like a lot of like these tiny little reveals and things, and it already has me gagged. So I'm so excited to keep reading. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I didn't end up updating you anymore while reading the book, but that's because this was fantastic. Oh my god. 5 star. easily, I get why this is the favorite of so many people in the series, because this was so good. Like I'm already scared to read The Raven King because I know that's most people's least favorite. Like most people think Maggie Stiefvater fumbled the bag with that finale, but like I can imagine how she could, because just the way this was a perfect book in my opinion. I just it was chef's kiss, honestly. I don't know what I can tell you without spoiling anything, but just know the fine family dynamics between a cast of characters is sublime. The atmosphere in this book is sublime, and just felt completely transported into things. This also just like up the antes, which I really enjoyed. It was needed for like a third book in the 4-book series, or but like just the way it was done, the stakes were raised. You have like this dark, eerie undertone. You can feel things like kind of like coming together. It was just so brilliantly done. And then there was like a little reveal in the epilogue that literally almost had me throw away my book, because I was like, yes, bitch, let's go. And yes, this was so good, and also just like kept me entertained the entire way through. Like things were happening at a quick enough pace. I loved the interactions between the different characters. There were some emotional moments, but I also laughed so much. I chuckled so much. They have jokes for days in this book, genuinely, and I love this. I really, really did. So bear with me doing this final vlog update, because I filmed this weeks ago, not realizing my mic broke. So now I have to redo all of the things that I filmed since then, including this vlog update. I apologize, but I did read The Raven King, and yeah, I read it. I'm very glad I didn't do any updates throughout. I decided to not do that because it just is hard to talk about the series finale without spoiling anything of the series. So I decided to just keep my thoughts until it was done. And now I'm glad I did that, because otherwise I would have had scrap footage than I do now. But still this update. So yeah, I finished Raven King, gave it 3 stars. As a finale, it failed for me. I thought not a whole lot happened in this book, and at least like for the biggest chunk, I really spent a lot of time focusing on things that, in my opinion, did not matter, and with the way things resolved also proved that did not matter. We spent a whole lot of time kind of introducing this new character within this friend group, and establishing his dynamic within it all, and like getting to know him, and we spent so long of this book on this character just for him to have no actual play in the finale, which made me so angry. Like, why don't we waste all that time on this person that did not matter in the end? And I feel like there's a lot of like minor things like that as well within the first half of the book, that you're just like, this does not matter in the end. Why did we spend so much time on it in a finale? It wasn't necessary, especially because once you actually get to the part of this book that starts wrapping things up, it feels so rushed. It's so quickly done. Everything moves so rapidly. I feel like some things are just completely dropped. Other things are not given a proper conclusion, in my opinion, where it is like touched upon but it isn't fully wrapped up. And it left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth for this entire series, because it just was so poorly executed. And I know that there's a spin-off series following Ronan, but I know that therefore there has to be like some things that are left open to make that work, but also like maybe resolve your main thing that this whole series has been about a bit better, and then I wouldn't have cared about some of these open ends. But I feel like some of those open ends are just like brutal, that they shouldn't have been open ends, but they were. However, this isn't anything lower than a 3-star, because despite all of those critiques that I have with this book, it does still have amazing characters, amazing character dynamics, and amazing atmosphere, just like all of the books in the series. That's all of that still present in this book. So therefore, like, I did still enjoy reading it. I still read it extremely quickly, but it just, as a finale, was just a massive disappointment, and I totally get why this is so hated by fans. And yeah, that has brought us to the end of my journey with the Raven cycle. I hope you enjoyed. I know I did. Let me just quickly rank these books for you. So we're starting at bottom spot, which obviously is the Raven King. I ranted about that enough. And then On number 3, I have the Dream Thieves, which I also gave it 3 stars, so that makes sense. And then on 2, the Raven Boys, the original, which I gave 4 stars, so again that made sense. And then my favorite in the series is Blue Lily Blue, which I gave 5 stars. So, you know, my ratings and the rankings make sense together, I think. And yeah, overall, I do think I would give this series a 4 star, just like in general. I feel like if the Raven King was a bit better, this could have been a 5-star series, because it is just so strong when it comes to like its cohesiveness, and as a one big story, it just works really well. And it just at the finale is such a letdown, and it brings it down to a 4 to me. These are absolutely phenomenal characters with great interpersonal dynamics that are full of love but also so complex, full of hurt as well, and it works just so well. The romantic relationships in this are also really well integrated into the story. Doesn't feel like forced or taken over anything else. It just feels like a nice cute addition. The story is so interesting, and I love kind of the magic within this world and how it is kind of vaguely explained. I feel like it works perfectly for what we're doing within this, and I totally get the hype for this, and I'm very glad I finally managed to finish this series after originally reading book 1 and 2 in 2016. This has been a long time coming. I'm glad I finally was able to finish it, because I do totally get the hype that this series has gotten over the years. It is just really good. It also holds up really well. I don't think this has aged badly at all. I feel like this is still very solid read in 2024. It works still really well, and I can say that about a lot of my fantasies at this time. Now this is more paranormal than fantasy, but like still, this genre hasn't aged well, just like in general, so I'm glad that these books have. And yeah, that is everything I have for you today. If you want to discuss your thoughts on the series with me, do so in the comments. Definitely also feel free to go into spoilers. I would love to talk more spoilers, but definitely at the top of your comment leave like a little spoiler warning, so people who watch this video and have not read the series yet know not to read your comments. And then hopefully I'll see you around next time. Bye.
Here I am again, the same old situation. Why does the God thing have to be so complicated? Should've played it